So welcome back guys, today I'm gonna give you 5 tips to rank up, not only with Yoshimitsu, just general tips how to get better at ranked play and how to improve your gameplay overall. This is not a character specific like I told you in the beginning, this actually applies to every character. I'm just using Yoshimitsu because I love him, that's why. So we're gonna jump right into it. The first point you should try to improve is your movement. Which is funny that I say it because I'm moving like a mongoloid, but that's because I'm sitting like a mongoloid right now because my setup is trash. You should focus on learning how to backdash and learning when to step and when not to step. Just a general idea, backdashing is not that hard. If you practice wave dashing, you can just revert it and start backdashing. But I would advise you to learn the good method, which is back, back, down, back, back. Because you're not gonna get hit out of your backdash as often as the method I'm using on P1. I'm not gonna go into much detail on backdash cancel because there are so many good videos from players that are way better than I am where you can look that up. Backdashing will improve your spacing and will get you out of situations where you usually have to guess. And one important thing about backdashing that a lot of opponents, a lot of people are not aware of is backdashing into block is something very, very important for a lot of situations actually. In this game it's not as important anymore, but if you just stay there, there are a lot of situations where of course you can block the mid, but you can also make it whiff. And in this game it's not as important as it was in Tekken's beforehand, but it's still very, very usable. And against 2D characters or characters like Miguel who lack range, it is very important. And with that I don't mean that you should always backdash to create a whiff punish. That's of course the biggest goal. But to backdash, to eliminate options, even on minus, is one thing that you have to implement in your gameplay. When you're -5 or -4, you don't always want to step. You sometimes just want one backdash and to block. Because you're gonna eliminate a few good options just by doing that. And it's way better than pressing buttons most of the time. The second part about backdashing, which is very, very important in my opinion, and it's quite overlooked, is don't backdash without a reason. If you backdash like this, full screen, and you just let him watch it and then backdash again, so you're like here, that doesn't accomplish anything. You want to backdash to either eliminate an option, or maybe one or two. You want to backdash to create whiffs. You want to backdash to like gather yourself and pick your next move, pick your move in. Or you want to backdash and forward dash to create pressure with movement. One very, very important thing that I don't see online player realizing is backdashing out of the range of your character doesn't accomplish anything. If you backdash with Yoshimitsu to range 5, that doesn't help you. You want to stay, in my opinion, because I'm a keep out Yoshimitsu, at range 2.5 to 3. So around 3 backdashes away. So you can hit this. If they come in, you can do this. If they want to make a move, you can do one more backdash down for to them. That's the range I like to do. That's the range where I start mat canceling. If I could do it, sorry. That is the next step. The first step is learn backdashing and implement backdash to create better situations for yourself. But after you master backdash and you don't have to think about it, start really thinking about the whiff punishing potential and the range your character should be played at. The second thing is lab matchups. That's a very, very common comment that people get for how do I beat this character, how do I get better in Tekken. Tekken is a very, I don't want to say complex, but a very bloated game. There are a lot of characters, a lot of situations. But the reality is, when you go to P mode to find the max damage combo, you're wasting your time. I don't say combos are not super efficient and not very important. I will actually make a video about that later. But combos are not the important part about learning your character or learning how to play Tekken. Learning matchups is not going through the whole move list and lab every situation. It's if you play a Kazumi, you will see 5, maybe 10, but most likely 5 situations that will occur over and over and over again. Down back 4 on hit, down forward 1 on hit. What can she do after? What are the common strategies? What do I have to prepare for? Is there an option where I can negate most of her common options? And that doesn't take a lot of time. And I see people telling me, yeah, I practice wave dash, I practice electrics. Just take 5 minutes. Every time when you go online, just take 5 minutes. Before you go online, maybe you warm up your thumbs, a little bit of movement, and then take 5 minutes to lab the 5 most common situations that you find yourself in struggling, and just see what you can do. It doesn't take that long. If you do it 5 minutes every time, you will improve after 2 weeks heavily. Really heavily. And it will make the game just feel way less random. Tekken 7 is more random than Tekken were before, and the component will be always there. But if you learn the situations, it will come less and less random, and you will get more and more confident. Yeah, so just do that. Not only lab characters, every character. And just pick the top 5 situations that you will have over and over again and lab them. And after that, when you feel comfortable, you can start to really go in depth with labbing against characters. The next one is overall online, play defensively. This will get you a few losses here and there, and maybe at the beginning even more. But when you focus on your defense, you will actually learn while playing. Playing ranked in autopilot mode, just mashing your buttons out and hoping your opponent doesn't know your character, will carry you if you play, for instance, Ling Shao. You maybe to Tekken God Prime, but you will lose against everyone who did the step that I told you before. And you will waste your time with this game. You will have 2,500 hours played in Tekken 7 and you still don't know shit. You maybe know what your options are in your stance at +5, but that accomplished nothing. Play defensive. Sometimes don't take your plus frames, move around, try to analyze your opponent. What are their tendencies? What are their flow charts? Yeah, I know most people online are meshy, and if you +4 and you press a counter at launcher, you will hit them. Okay, you can check the opponent, that's fine. But be aware, people like to press panic buttons. People like to get out of situations for free nowadays. That's how online players think, and that's how they play. And I, of course, do it as well sometimes. If I don't want to deal with the situations, I rule kick. But a good player will kill me for this, most likely. And you know these situations where you just weird shit happens. You're rambling and all over the screen some random shit is happening. And that's why you don't take your time. You're not really watching. You're just pressing, and you're getting mad, and you're like, why is that not working? Why is he doing this over and over again? Instead of just playing defensively and analyzing the opponent. And that comes with one big thing, and I think the biggest thing actually. Don't get mad. And that is very, very hard to do. I got rage quitted 3 times yesterday in a row. I didn't get my promotion 2 times because 2 different people rage quitted me. And I know that is frustrating. I know when people have 3 bars and they're just pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing, it's frustrating. It is frustrating for me, and every streamer who says it's not frustrating is lying to you. Because you're spending your free time after work, after you have your wife or your children in bed, playing this game because you want to relax. And you don't want to get tilted. I can understand that. Just put one sentence in your head. You can win 1,000 times by doing the wrong shit and learn nothing. or you can lose 50 times doing the right shit and learn. And in the long run, you will accomplish way more. I love the word accomplish, by the way. Way more as a player than you would have if you always went the direction and gimmick people out. I promise you that. And there will be time where you can pick a character up in 20 minutes, learn his interesting parts, his specialities, and you will be fine with the character because you learned how to play Tekken and not how to play Yoshimitsu. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't use tech or you shouldn't never press on minus. I do that. I challenge people, I don't respect people, and sometimes that's even my game plan in the first 3 rounds, in the first 3 matches, to give them a feel by me not respecting them, so they start to always check me and give up their turn with like checking tools instead of applying pressure to me. But that's okay. If it's your game plan, that's totally fine, but I'm talking about blindly auto-piloting mashing. Or always if you +5 and you do your 15 frame mid, that is not good. That doesn't mean if the opponent gets that one time and he just blocks every time afterwards and you either do the mid or the low and he's smart enough to input buffer low parry into mid block, he will die for it on the long run or against good people. Do I say that doesn't work online to like Tekken God? Maybe it does. I think it hella does. But if you play against decent opponents, it won't work. And now I have one more, which is kind of 2 separate parts, but I said top 5, so the first one is keep in mind when your opponent has rage, and keep the options he has in mind. So for Yoshimitsu, for example, that has something to do with labbing, but that is something that you really have to know. What is accessible for him when he's in rage? And what is changing about the general game plan? For Yoshimitsu, for instance, you cannot whiff anymore. You shouldn't whiff in Yoshimitsu's face when he has this, because if the opponent is ready, you die. You cannot jab anymore. If I'm -5 and I press this and you jab, you die. -4, sorry. So you don't jab check him anymore. If you 0 or something, you mid check him. But that's also not a good idea because he can flash. So what you do is just wait the rage drive out because Yoshimitsu doesn't have as good mid options. And if he goes into no sword stance, then you have to actually be very careful what you do. The rage art for Yoshimitsu is not that interesting, but the rage drive. So for characters like Paul, for characters like Devil Jin, if they get rage, the gameplay actually changes and you have to adapt. You have to be smart enough to know what is the purpose, what is my game plan now. For instance, against Paul, don't get hit by down for 2. If he does a quarter circle forward 1, don't press buttons. If he does a quarter circle forward 3, don't press buttons. Just get out of his demo man range and try to waste as much time as you can. Because if you get hit, you die. For Yoshimitsu, you don't throw out all jabs all time. You just change your game plan. And most of the time, if the character doesn't have a low rage drive, be defensive. Wait it out until it's gone. Most people just spend their rage drive. They want to have it out. They want this like, oh yeah, I cheesed you. Yeah, man, right. Then just wait it out. And then you can play your normal game. So overall, I think those points will make you better with every character, but over time, not immediately. And the last thing I want to say is, Tekken is a game that takes time. I know nowadays they are joining a lot of pretty famous people who get good very fast, like Sonic Fox, maybe Leffen, I don't know if he's good or not, but and you watch these streamers and you think, why are they so incredibly fast, and why did it take me like 2 years or 1.5 years to get good? Because they're talented, in Sonic Fox cases at least, and people are helping them in their stream chat. For you, Tekken should be all about learning, because this game has a very, very long time before you can actually enjoy the beauty of it. And you should take that time and enjoy it, because God knows, when you start understanding this game fully, and you're realizing how often you're getting robbed and how stupid the balance is, you're not gonna enjoy this game as much. If I see one more Julia doing forward run and pretending he has good neutral, I'm gonna fucking quit forever. No, I'm joking. Just take your time and focus on learning how to play Tekken the good way. That does not mean that you shouldn't choose people who don't deserve it better, by the way. See you in the next one. Goodbye.